My name is Catalina Turrubiates. I am a kindergarten bilingual teacher at Odyssey Academy, Galveston. This is one of my students' leadership notebook. This is where they track their goals, their celebrations. And so under the goals tab, they have their choice board. And so they know we start on Monday, they get a brand new sheet. So they know that in order to get to Genius Hour on Fridays, which is all the fun stuff that we do, I want them to complete this mini choice board. Unfortunately, this student has been out since Wednesday, so he didn't get to complete the rest of it. But usually they'll complete everything. And in this, it tells they have to track that they have been on Amplify reading, and it has other ELA stations. So they are really excited about this. I'm going to walk you over to where we have a little visual for them to know how long they have been spending on Amplify reading. So if you can see, it says, how are you doing on your Amplify reading weekly goal? They have little school buses. And so they get really excited about this. Every morning they ask me, Missy, did I get to 40 minutes? Did I get to 40 minutes? So we move it every morning. We track it. And as you can see, it's Friday. So most of us are already there at 40 minutes. So they are excited for Genius Hour today. And so to log into Amplify Reading is very easy. This was something that I was concerned about. I thought, my kiddos are 5. How are they going to do it? How are they going to log in themselves? And they're actually great at it. So what they do is once it's time to go to stations, if they need to work on blended learning, they know. So they'll know if they still haven't met their 40-minute goal, that's the first station they want to go to. And we currently have 6 iPads, and I partnered up with one of my co-teachers, and we do centers at a different ELA stations at a different time. So I'll borrow some of her iPads so that way we can have, instead of having 6, we could technically have 12, but usually I'll just borrow 3 or 4 so that we can have a total of 9 or 10 iPads. So those friends that log into Amplify Reading, they just grab their QR code, they scan it with the iPad and grab their headphones, and they just log in. And they also, part of the menu choice board is listen to reading, that they also do on another application that we have called Get Epic. And so those are our 2 main stations that we do.
Catalina, that you're doing so many great things with 5-year-olds. So when we hear some excuses as to why we can't do this, that, or the other, it's really hard for us to understand why when you're doing so much with such young learners. So that's awesome. Keep up the good work. I'm curious, Catalina, and I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but what have you taken from the You Teach PD online course to enhance what you're presently doing?
Well, when I took the first course, I was not using Amplify Reading yet. When I took not the advanced blended learning, but the first course, I was still in a little bit of a shock, like, how am I going to do this? And then I thought, well, how are my kiddos going to do it by themselves? We don't have enough devices. And so I think once I started the advanced blended learning course, I started thinking through a little bit more. That's when I decided to partner up with my co-teacher and say, hey, could we maybe trade off, and she'll use my iPads, I'll use her iPads, just for the students to have more access to the blended learning environment. So that's one of the things that I've amped up in my classroom. Another thing, using more of the results that I get from the Amplify Reading data, I use that and put it into my planning, mainly for small group planning. So I'll take a look at my students' data and see, okay, I have these 4 students that really need to work on rhyming. So I pull them and I work on rhyming with them. So I learned that from the course, how we can use that data that we get from having a blended learning environment and put it back into our lesson planning and small group planning. So I think that's the main.
Awesome. Awesome. Were you using choice boards beforehand?
No, I wasn't. So
Awesome.
that's something new, and my kiddos love it. So that is something that I will continue using.
Great. I love your system for access, your little QR codes up there on the board. That's a great idea. So
Oh,
anyway,
and
it's
the
been a
kiddos are
pleasure.
great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, they're great, but they also have a great teacher too. So
Oh, thank you.
anyway, thank you for your, like Jackie said, a sneak peek into your classroom. It looks like a fun place to learn and be involved with. So keep up the good work, and thank you for being a great participant with the You Teach PD. We appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, ladies, so much. Thank you for being so helpful and so flexible. Thank you.